Hey everybody, it's Durger time. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Ring of Honor Resurrection. We had a kind of a rough show. I'm a little underwhelmed with the last episode. I was kind of bummed that despite having to sell out, we kind of were going in the opposite direction. I mean, we had a 46 previously, so it's about on par, but I really want 50 or higher to really maximize our gains here. And yeah, it was a little bit of a bummer. Most of it was my fault. I think we booked a 52, but we didn't properly manage the crowd. If we managed the crowd a little bit better, I think we would have been okay. So one of the things I want to deal with, I had set up Wheeler Yuta as I'm gonna move Regal as face. I was going to take him off of Wheeler Yuta as a manager, but I think it'd be better just to turn him face. So I think we'll do that at some point in the next episode. Just because he's not really a heel, he's more of in between. He's more of an authority figure. Blackpool Combat Club in AEW is kind of a weird thing because they're kind of nebulous. They're kind of tweeners, but like, none of them are very well defined in terms of face or heel. Really depends on who they're facing and when. So, it's difficult to put Regal in any particular bucket. So for now, we'll put him babyface because I don't think he's actively antagonistic to anybody. So I think that will be the best solution. Still losing money. Still on track to lose $72,000. Sure that AEW's not thrilled with that, but we're a loss leader. They'll have to deal with it. They'll deal with it. Colt Cabana is still upset, still irritated after being left off some shows. Listen, you can't be that upset about every single show, dude. So far though, the only issues are Regal, Cabana. Everybody else, I think, is roughly okay. Has normal morale. Irritated. Yeah, we got some happy. We got some pleased. You're not going to make everyone happy. Irrited's not a big deal. If they get to annoyed, it can be bad. But so far, everyone's roughly normal or happy. So we got to work on helping Brian Cage here get less irritated. He's upset about being left off of Ring of Honor Wrestling. Like, dude, you can't be on every show. I don't know what to tell you. We could do more pre-shows, but honestly, get over yourself. Get over yourself, dude. We'll figure out what to do with it. Anyways, let's go ahead and let's get on with the show, and see what we can make happen. All right, we are autobooked back at the Evelville Civic Center. I think we'll stick in this area for now. Last show was a sellout, so that's always nice. It's only a 250 person show, so it's not like a huge one. Pretty good show. I mean, I'm upset with that rating, but I think that was more of some bad management on my part than it was the show itself, because we had a great match with FTR and Young Bucks. Yeah, the crowd wasn't super thrilled with the countouts, but they'll get over it. So now we have a situation where the Young Bucks and FTR basically have a situation where they have to figure out who's number one contender. That's going to lead into a triple threat. Tracy Williams and Wheeler Yuta heats up. Tracy gets another win on Wheeler Yuta. House also calls out Yuta as never being as good as him, and is so far proving it. We have Suzuki and Garcia having a contract signing for this week, so we have a match tonight between Garcia and Suzuki, which I'm thinking should be really good. We just have to make sure we're managing the crowd for it. Things heat up between Jordan Grace and Mercedes Martinez, and the Righteous return and debut, which was fun. Kind of probably going to be challenging for the six man to bring it back home kind of situation. So we'll have to see how that shakes out. We have a bunch of other storylines that we have to still kind of address. It's a little hard to manage, but I'm kind of I'm thinking of doing like try to, for the most part, every other week manage different pay-per-views or different storylines to try to keep them all in check. We don't have a lot of other ones going on, but there's enough that, you know, we want to forward along. Backstage incidents, something involving Todd Sinclair. He organized a video game tournament. Hey, thank you, Todd. That was nice of you. Don't need to open forum anymore, which is interesting. We no longer have 3 unhappy workers, so we can now meddle. There's some tension between Gresham and Samoa Joe. I think let's Colt Cabana, and is there anybody in Colt Cabana that has a high chance of succeeding? Cabana's a really good personality usually. Colt Cabana and Colt Cabana would be an interesting. I can't apparently do that, which is a shame. Extremely unlikely, extremely high chance of failing. I hate that there's different terms that sound the same, essentially meaning the same thing. I always get excited when I see it. I'm like, oh, we got something different, but no. Fairly high chance to cheat. Do they not have a friendship already? Well, I mean, you know, the strong friendship between Colt Cabana and Matt Jackson. It's always nice to have some positive personalities there. I was hoping more for a younger kid, but that's fine. We can't always get proteges. Where are we going to be? We're going to be looking at 285 fans. Pick the best option, Civic Center. So we're going to sell out 250 again. You know, nothing in here is really shaping up. Like, we could go to the Norfolk Masonic Temple, or the Jopa Arena, and capture the rest of those. I don't know if it would be worth the extra cost. That's a 7% importance, 0% importance. Greedy Center's got a hotbed too, so we would get even more people, but we're not going to pay $5,000 to fill that room. That'd be insane. Yeah, I'm thinking the Civic Center is probably still the best. It's got a little bit of importance, so that gives us a little bit of boost. We sell out, not a big deal. We're going to lose some fans on the table, but it's not that big of a deal. All right. Let's go ahead and let's book this show. Obviously, we got only big thing on this episode that we know we need to book is Daniel Garcia versus Suzuki. So we have that to work with. So that is sort of the focus of this episode. I don't know if that's a main event, but it could be. I gotta look at where their stats are. That's going to be for, obviously, a title, so that'll be interesting. I actually don't know how that shakes out, so that'll be fun and interesting. Let's go ahead and let's book the show. Catch you guys on the flip. Alright guys, we are back with a full 95 minutes. You know, I realized something, I never really do a post show. I might do one in the future, but I always have that opportunity to do it, and I never do it. Didn't do it this time either, but we do have 3 pre-show matches, try to give some people some stuff to do. Maybe in the future I'll do some post shows of just some moving people around and getting them to do stuff, but for now, we got 3 pre-shows, 95 minutes on the card. It's a pretty good show. It's a little light, but it's because there's some really long matches that sort of needed to happen. So let's go ahead and let's get into it, and let's see what we got. So pre-show number 1, we start with Connor Claxton versus Lee Moriarty. We have Lee Moriarty defeat Connor. Connor's 26. Lee gets easy win. Wanted to give Lee some additional momentum, give him some more wins, and we didn't really have an opportunity to either put him in a story or on the show, so this is the next best thing. Same thing for Alex Zane. Give Alex Zane a quick opportunity to get a good win. Bobby's not quite in his element and definitely had a weaker performance on here than we've had from him in the past, but still 36 isn't horrible for undercarder. Alex Zane, though, we want to give him some strong mid-carder vibes, so giving him some wins, even on the pre-show, is going to be helpful to that. Gave him 53, so not too bad. 11 minutes, Alex Zane defeats Bobby in a submission, and the segment itself is a 49. It's not bad. We got Bandito and Chavo Guerrero. The storyline we kind of didn't necessarily drop, but we kind of haven't had a hard time putting into. But, Leo Rush and Bandito kind of have this back and forth a couple weeks ago. And we're kind of trying to continue this here with Chavo and Bandito. Chavo being, obviously, Bandito's manager, and Leo Rush and Kenny King, I don't know. Kenny King wasn't doing anything, so picked him up. We had a pretty good match, actually. Good wrestling, decent reaction from the crowd. This was a work the crowd match, I believe, but it did not pick them up. Bandito defeats Leo Rush and Kenny King. Bandito pins Kenny King. Chavo was the weak link of the bunch, which, 39, it's not horrible. 68 for Bandito. 48 for Kenny King, and 63 for Leo Rush. I think we definitely need to get these two on the main show. Maybe that's the focus for next week, but because, damn, those were good ratings. That seems like a great main event if we get it paced right. I mean, hell, for a pre-show, this pre-show, would not be shocked if this is better than everything on the main show, to be honest, which is kind of a shame. We start the show off, got the crowd hot. We got Dax, Cash, Jay, Mark, Matt, and Nick all in the ring. Young Bucks start the show by addressing the fans, and they go, yeah. So we got a lot to talk about regarding the betrayal that happened at AEW, but that's for Dynamite, because as we know, apparently they got kicked out of the Elite at AEW, so we got to deal with that, but we're not going to deal with that here. Though we do have to deal with it because they are our 6-man tag, and I don't know how they're going to work with Adam Cole after being ousted by him, but I suspect that's how they'll lose it. That's for Dynamite right now. We got to talk about our number one contendership status. FTR interrupt, and then two teams go back and forth about how it was a no DQ. The FTR should be the true champions because they were the former most recent champions. That Matt and Nick cheated or whatever. Briscoes then come out saying that y'all need to figure it out. You two teams are pathetic. No one's against Briscoes. All three teams start bickering, pushing each other, fighting. Eventually, William Regal, as the general manager, comes out, interrupts them, gives them the old gentleman, and tells them that there's only one way to see this through, and that's why he's going to issue for the championship a triple threat tag match. Briscoes are super unhappy about that. FTR and Young Bucks are not as upset, but still not happy. Therefore, great compromise. So we're going to have a triple threat between the Young Bucks, the Briscoe brothers, and FTR. Should be fun. This segment does a fantastic 60. We got the crowd going hotter. Got the crowd off to a strong start. William Regal looking good out there. Everything looking sharp. We do want to turn Regal babyface. We do not have disposition changes set up, so we should not have a problem with our doing a lot of changes. And we are going to be doing some changes because I know some heel face things aren't set up correctly, so expect that in the future. For now, I'm leaving a lot of them on the wayside, but especially for managing, it made a lot of sense to move Regal, and being the GM, moving him face made much more sense than having him being antagonistic. We have Brian Cage in an actual match against Bear Boulder. Brian Cage defeats Bear Boulder in 10 minutes. Now, we did get a penalty for this, and that's fine, but Bear Boulder couldn't do a 20-minute match. Brian Cage couldn't do a 20-minute match. So we will take the penalty where we can. It's only a 44. So, well, I should say it. Even with the penalty, it's only a 44. So that penalty is not too bad. I don't know the specifics on how many points are reduced from it. And if someone's ever done an experiment, let me know in the comments what that penalty is, because depending on how severe it is, I might do more smaller matches and just take the penalty, because sometimes there's just not enough time for a 20-minute match. Sometimes you just need a 15-minute match. Now, I could have put these guys as a storyline, and they would have been okay, but I really didn't need that here. So, and I didn't need a 20-minute match. I just needed something to give Brian Cage a win, make him a little bit happier, start building him up as a little bit of a threat. We're supposed to have a story here, but it didn't look like it fired off. I think is because Bear wasn't part of it. So, we do want to have Brian Cage involved. He's part of Tully Blanchard Enterprises. We want him kind of involved a little bit more. He was a little upset with us that he wasn't on a couple shows, so this is sort of a way to remedy that a bit. He did fantastic. 58 is really good. I think if we utilize Cage as an upper mid-carder, I think we have some good potentials. I think he would be a great probably not pure title, but maybe television championship challenger would be very interesting. Maybe even a world in the future, but for now, I could definitely see him in that sort of lane, right? 44, though, not bad. All things considered, I'm pretty happy with it. Willow has a really bad segment. I need to boost her charisma, or at least her microphone. She's not great on the mic in real life. She's kind of fluttery, but she's not bad. She's not 34 bad. I would say she's sort of middle of the road. Honestly, I've seen some of her promos, and I would say she's a better promo than most of the women at AEW currently, minus like a few. So to see a 34 is a little weird. I need to fiddle with her stats a bit. I don't think I'm a big fan of where she's at. We get a video package. Willow is doing a promo saying that Jordan Grace disrespected her at the pay-per-view when she tried to shake her hands after the win. This is all about honor here, and it was a very dishonorable thing to do. She thinks Jordan's just a bully that uses her size and her muscle and strength to push around other people, and Willow's experienced that all her life, and she's not afraid of people like her anymore. She has a match tonight against her, so kind of calling her out a little bit. Jordan obviously has been dominating people and is our number one contender, but Willow kind of wants to make a challenge to her. We got Flip and Tony Nese, and sort of a similar call-out promo video. Flip says he doesn't back down for challenges. Tony Nese says he's the ultimate professional wrestler. He's just an asshole, and that he's looking to challenge against Tony Nese at some point. We gain some heat for the storyline. This segment, though, does pretty poorly. Flip's not that great on the mic, but I wanted to get some storylines advanced in here, so that was sort of how we were going to do it. Meanwhile, like a back-to-back-to-back promo area. Not a promo, though, but we see Rhett Titus walking in the back, walking towards the Foundation's locker room until he gets blindsided by Samoa Joe, who literally runs him through drywall. And so he said that he was going to decommission the Foundation one by one, and he does so with Rhett Titus throwing him against the wall, trying to start to dismantle them as Samoa Joe goes full Joey Samoa and starts attacking people. We get a 51 for this. This is pretty good. Advance the storyline. All pretty good here. We got our handicap match, which was Dalton and the Boys versus Joe Hendry and the Monster, Jazim Salami. Salami. Jesus, I said it again. Salmani. I'm gonna just name Jazim Salami. That's a better name. So we got a decent match. Did not have much heat to it though. Jazim and Joe Hendry defeat Dalton Castle and the boys in a handicap match. Because of course you can't have the people in a handicap match when boy number one gets pinned. Kind of protects Dalton Castle a little bit. Jazim's pretty strong, 48. Dalton Castle 54. Joe Hendry 41. Boys 1 and 2 41 37. We gained heat for our storyline. Got the crowd hotter. Overall, pretty good. Nobody's buzzing, so that's good. We're okay here. This was not a cool down match. We do have a cool down match coming up because we have a very technical main event that we have to focus on. But we continue the story of Joe Hendry now having this muscle to really push people around. Going to be pissing off Dalton Castle. The segment gets a 50, or I should say the match gets a 50. Very happy with it. The match against Jordan versus Willow underperforms. It's a 12-minute match. Jordan beats Willow. It does okay. Willow had a 37. Jordan has a 45. I wanted to give Willow a bigger match. We weren't going to have her win here because it would look really bad for the number one contender. She will have her day. But just putting her in a match with a bigger star and having a match is going to be important. So brought the crowd down a little bit. We wanted to cool them down a little bit. And it just felt like the right time to do it. It's a 41. Overall, not too bad, but not great. Afterwards, Grace attacks Willow post-match. It does really poor. That's a real bummer. At least we're on the ground, the course of booze. And, we again having that disrespect of Jordan being unhonorable towards Willow and everybody else around her. And then we have a really good match. 69, almost could have been 70 maybe. Daniel Garcia versus Minoru Suzuki for the World Television title. Superb wrestling. Decent reaction from the crowd. Daniel Garcia does defeat Minoru Suzuki 25 minutes by submission with a sharpshooter and wins the World Television title for ROH. Suzuki had a 78. Garcia had a 59. Becoming the win gained heat, obviously. An upset, but an interesting one. I don't know how long Garcia will have the World Television title, but I felt like an opportunity to really try to boost him up. So the win, I'm curious if that makes him a star for us. And if so, where he lines up. Suzuki had no problem dropping the title to him. And we're going to have more between these two. But 69 is a fantastic main event. Afterwards, the segment does not go very well. Most of that has to do with Suzuki's language barrier, which makes sense. I think I had him for acting, so I guess that didn't work. But Garcia defeats Suzuki in a bloody technical showing. He's shocked that he even won. He holds the belt up, struggling to get up to his feet. Suzuki rises to meet him, not struggling that much at all. Angered, forehead busted open, dripping blood. Dudes stare down at each other. Suzuki looks at the belt, looks at Garcia, then takes his finger, wipes the blood on his face onto the finger, and then starts to write letters on Garcia's chest and spells them out. G-U-N onto Garcia. Suzuki pats him and then walks away. Garcia, slightly confused by the encounter. Garcia has been marked by Suzuki, Goon, the squad. It seems like Suzuki is offering him a spot in Suzuki Goon, the building of Suzuki Goon in Ring of Honor. So while he won the world title, he really won something more, which was Suzuki's respect. And it seems like a vicious side of Garcia is going to start to build. And two of them probably going to tag together, probably going to do some other stuff, probably going to be building a stable in America. So in very much a parallel to the Blackpool Combat Club, we got Garcia kind of being the first inductee of Suzuki Goon's American expansion. Unfortunately, the segment does a little weaker. One of the reasons why we got the belt off of Suzuki, fantastic wrestler, but very limited in language barrier in America. So having somebody that can talk, which is not necessarily Garcia, we need to find somebody that's a better mouthpiece for this stable. But we got two amazing technical wrestlers that we can put them in a tag match with somebody else, and it's going to just completely rock the socks off everybody in that arena. But we need a mouthpiece, and that's what we're kind of starting to form here. I'm thinking this show went pretty well. It did, 57. I think that might have been actually one of our best shows. Well-paced, fantastic main event. Overall, even though some of these other segments underperformed, not a lot, and it didn't really matter. Overall, really happy with it. We gained our popularity in 38 regions. Not much to say about it other than awesome. All right, I can only imagine that we had an excellent show. Unfortunately, we had a web embarrassment. Because something of a laughingstock recently after CMLL published an article consisting of 100 jokes about the company on their website. This led to an outbreak of Ring of Honor jokes spread across the internet and has reportedly left the management of the promotion extremely angry. This is, of course, because the war has begun. We, of course, have let's say a bad relationship with CMLL. They've declared war on us. Everything had blown up very early on. And if that's the case, if you want to play that, we of course can do so as well. We can disrupt them. Signs of chaos. Let's distribute some signs around, and just say CMLL sucks or something like that. We will do that. Toa Leona is back from injury, looking good. Jay Briscoe says Joe Hendry's a natural talker. He's worth giving promo time. I agree. And then we had 500,000 views, actually really solid. I think we still lost some money, but not horribly. Overall, though, still an excellent rating here. We're doing okay. I'm happy with where we're at. But I guess the homework for you guys now is, as we're starting to build up this sort of Suzuki-gun American expansion, who on the roster that you think is a great talker could join the Suzuki-gun? We definitely have. Let's take a look here. You're looking for a wrestler who has, let's say 55 minimum microphone. That's a lot of people. We want something higher, obviously, but Swerve. It kind of doesn't really feel like a Suzuki-gun person to me. But Silas, could see Silas joining. Would be interesting. Lee Moriarty is kind of an interesting one. I don't know if they fit. Jonathan Gresham would be kind of interesting. Though actually his microphone works not great at all. We really want somebody that's a really strong talker. Joe Hendry. So Joe Hendry's got a great microphone. I mean, I don't know. I don't know who I think of for Suzuki. Leo Rush? I don't know. Or do we hire somebody outside? We can always do some hiring. It's never a big deal. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Anyways, that is it for me. Thank you for watching another episode of Ring of Honor Resurrection, and I will see you next time.